Okay, good evening, Miss Edwards. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. So prior to us meeting last week, I just wanted to touch bases and just ask you how you feeling.
Um, I'm still feeling like those anxious feelings, but yeah, they haven't gone anywhere.
All right. So, prior to last week, we talked about your anxiety, and I was just wondering, did you have any moments last week, excuse me, where you felt anxious at all?
Yes, I had a bunch of work to do, and they all had the same due dates. So like anxiety level through the roof the whole week.
So what I hear you saying is, school can be pretty stressful and you're just, having problems maintaining your schoolwork.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what did you feel exactly? Like, can you describe the feelings that you felt while being anxious in that moment?
Well, my heart was racing, like I became fidgety. It was hard for me to sleep at night because I kept feeling like something was due and like I didn't turn it in. Like it was just a lot. I had a lot of different emotions during that time.
Yes. School can be very stressful. What are some things that you do to stay organized for school?
Um, Usually I use my planner. But recently since quarantine, I haven't been using my planner.
Mhm.
Um, just because I've been so I haven't had as many things on my plate, but it still seems like it's a lot of things that I have to do. I try to go day by day doing, one day work for this class, another day work for this class, just to try to, maintain some organization, but still anxious about it.
Yes. I like the fact that you brought up a planner. Staying organized is, super important. It's taking steps to controlling, you know, your course load. So I appreciate that. Prior to our meeting last week, you mentioned something about not being able or having a hard time making friends. Did anything change since then?
Um, Not really. Maybe a little. Someone tried to speak to me. Um, what was it? 2 days ago, and I kind of like gave them a head nod and like okay, acknowledged that they were there, but I didn't really get the communication out like I wanted to or like I had planned to. Um, but I feel like it's a step in the right direction because I was able to like acknowledge the person.
Yes, it definitely is a step in the right direction. So it's good. You're getting outside of your comfort zone a little bit. So what would that moment have looked like for you? Had you approached them? Had you, said hi back, got to know that person a little more?
So that moment probably would have looked like me actually having a conversation with that person. You know, probably trying to ask a basic question like, "How was your day?" or "How are you doing?" or anything like that. Um, but I couldn't get the words out while I was there. It just seemed like so much was going on, and then I felt like my chest tightening, and it was a lot.
Yes, I understand. It could be very frightening. What I hear you say is that a part of your defense mechanism, sometimes you feel your chest starting to tighten up. I know last week that we talked briefly about anxiety attacks. So could you just go into detail and explain what that might look like for you or how that experience is for you?
So for me, an anxiety attack just involves like my chest tightening, like I start to like get panicky. Sometimes I'm like overthinking things, which cause me to have that anxiety. Sometimes when I'm in public places, I tend to have those anxiety attacks too. Like I went to Walmart maybe a week ago and it was so many people, and us dealing with the coronavirus, it kind of like puts like heightening fears within us. So now I'm in a giant food store, and it's so many people that it's causing me like some sort of like panic or anxiety, because I feel like maybe out of all of the hundreds of people, it's a couple different carriers in here, and who knows, maybe I'll end up with coronavirus because there's so many people here with the disease. It that things like that really scare me, and tend to cause like a lot of anxiety. What else? As well as like the fact that because the virus is going on, like I haven't been working. Um, it's put a lot of strain on me because now I get anxiety once like it gets around the time for my bills to be due. Like I know I'm supposed to have a check because I was supposed to be working, but now I'm not working, and it just causes a lot of unnecessary stress, as well as the fact that I'm still trying to, complete classes and finish the semester off strong. The workload did increase for all my classes. Well, not all, but for most of my classes. So that kind of put like extra stress on me as well. So like my anxiety has been through the roof.
Okay, and you mentioned something about stress. So are you noticing that you have these strong feelings when you're feeling stressed about a certain situation, or is it just when you're overwhelmed by different situations?
It's more so when I'm overwhelmed by a bunch of situations. But I think because I overthink things, I tend to put all of my situations um together, and it kind of like increases my stress level. So even something that probably isn't as stressful as it could be, like I'll take that and be like, dang, like this is still on the side of my head. Like I'm still stressed about this thing, and now something else has came. So now I'm stressed about two things, and then oops, here goes something else, and now there's a bunch of different stressors for me. Um, and it just tends to like put me through like extra. I don't want to keep saying extra stress, but yeah, it makes me extra stressed because I tend to just bundle all of my um, different stressors together. And I guess that's what causes my anxiety attacks.
Okay. You mentioned something about overthinking. I just want to touch on that. So are you overthinking just negative situations, positive situations? Are you overthinking about like outcomes of these situations? Let's touch a little more about the overthinking.
So with overthinking, I overthink situations that had negative outcomes. Also, I just overthink certain things that I could have done differently. So like say I get into an altercation with someone, or like me and someone are arguing, and like I'll lay down at night and it'll still be on my brain, like maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that, and the situation would have been differently. But yeah, I tend to like just overthink negative situations the most. Like positive situations, I don't necessarily overthink them. I just, you know, try to take them in and try to replace the negative thoughts, but has been working lately.
Okay, so what I hear you say is basically, those negative thoughts sometimes consume your mind and it could cancel out any positive thoughts. And you also have a hard time turning off those thoughts when you should.
Mhm.
All right. What methods do you use to cope with your anxious feelings or when you feel yourself, having one of those anxiety attacks?
I normally just listen to music or um I'll like watch a movie because I'm really into like movies and stuff. So things like that, they get my mind off of like all of the stressing thoughts. I dance, I do crossword, just little things that help me keep my mind entertained and then off of like my negative thoughts.
All right. So today, with that being said, I think it'll be very useful for us to do what's called mindfulness training. It's just basically a training. It's going to help you calm down those thoughts. It's something that you could do by yourself, at work, in the car, whenever you feel like those thoughts are starting to just overtake everything and it's starting to become overwhelming, you can just take a second and gather those thoughts, breathe, and release. So it's more so like a relaxation technique, and we're just going to get into it. Did you have any questions before we start?
No.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play some calming music after I read each instruction. So once I get into the instructions, go ahead and play music. Okay, so for this exercise, I want you to find a comfortable posture. Are you in your comfortable posture?
Yes.
I want you to close your eyes, and I just want you to allow your body to be held, supported by the chair that you're sitting on. And I'm going to cue the music now. And I want you to notice directly the sensation of your body in contact with the chair. Notice that your breath is already moving on its own. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I want you to narrow your attention to the flow of breath at the tip of your nose as it contacts the nostrils. Inhale, exhale. Whenever your attention wanders and you notice that it has wandered, return your attention to the flow of the breath at the tip of your nose. Inhale, exhale. I want you to concentrate on things that make you happy. Think those happy thoughts as we continue to focus on our breathing. Think of a happy place while focus on your breathing. Don't worry about anything. Just focus on your breathing. Allow yourself a few more breaths. We're staying in those happy thoughts. We are remaining positive. We are inhaling positive and exhaling out negative. Allow yourself a few more breaths before slowly opening your eyes. All right. All right. Now, how does that make exercise make you feel?
Made me feel calm, relaxed. Um, I didn't think about the negative, so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like that. I like doing that.
I'm glad you liked it. Um, so is this an exercise that you can see yourself doing whenever you start to feel overwhelmed with those, stressors that life hands you?
Yes, I think I can see myself doing this. Like it's nothing for me to sit in a car or in my room and just, put on this type of music and deep breathe and meditate or, work on my breathing and just try to think about positive thoughts instead of negative as like also. I mean, like as always.
That's good to hear. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Um, all right, so I'm glad that that technique kind of helped calm you and gather your thoughts. Um, so I wanted to go ahead and discuss a treatment plan. I wanted to do something that was short term and something that was longer term. For the short term, I want you to start just jotting down, journaling. It doesn't have to be right then and there in that moment. Maybe when you go home after you practice your relaxation technique that we did here today and just gather those thoughts and just jot down, maybe an instance where you felt yourself about to get anxious or, you felt yourself about to have a anxiety attack or you became very nervous about something. So just jot down those instances as detailed as possible. We want to start working on addressing when we feel anxiety, situations that causes us to feel it. And for long term, I want So before we discuss your treatment plan, I just wanted to ask, were there any goals or anything specifically that you wanted to work on?
I would like to work on like getting my negative thoughts together because that's something that I struggle with a lot. The mindfulness technique is something that I believe will help, but I also want to make sure that it's something that I'm going to be able to use in the long run. I also want to work on attaining more friends. Like I really don't have a lot of friends, and it's because of like my social anxiety. Like I don't know, it's just a lot for me. So I do want to work on, like, stepping out of my comfort zone and meeting new people, or talking to people that I you know would have trouble with talking to before.
Okay, that's perfect. The treatment plan that I wanted us to work on, um, I broke them down by short term and long term. For the short term, um, treatment plan, I wanted you to just, start jotting down in a journal when you start feeling those feelings of anxiety, stress, maybe worry. You start feeling that tightening chest feeling. I just want you to start jotting down, you know, what events cause you to feel like that. I want you to do this after you do your mindfulness training, after you calm down and you regroup, and so you're not rushing through. You could really take your time and think about what brought you to that place. And for long term, I want you to perhaps go to the mall or go to a school party and just get out there and start making more friends. I made this one long term because it's not easy. Sometimes it could be very overwhelming trying to make new friends, and yeah, but it can be done. And yes, so I wanted to make that a long term goal in your treatment plan because it doesn't happen, overnight. It could be very nerve wracking, and we just want to address those feelings, and we do want to take steps into the right direction. So I felt like, adding that into your treatment plan would be very helpful for you long term. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay. And so for homework, I gave you a homework assignment. And this is the assignment that I want you to do before we meet next week. And it's something that, it'll open your mind to think those positive thoughts. So we're going to work on changing your perspective on situations a little bit. Um, so I'm going to print you out this handout, and at the top of the handout, it basically says, what am I thinking about, or what emotions am I struggling with that might be causing me to feel this way? So it's basically self-explanatory. It just wants you to address those feelings when we can't avoid them. So we're just going to address them, and we're going to write down the emotions that you're struggling with in that moment when you start to feel anxious, and you might can't sleep, you're stressed because of school, so you're up all night. Just jot down those emotions, and I want you to do it for the whole week. If one day you only have one bad emotion and you're not so stressed that day, still write down that one emotion. um and basically, I want you to notice if any particular thoughts or memories just give a rise in the distressing physical symptoms. And if it's more than one, you can go ahead and make that list. Um, and basically, by doing this, it will help you begin to understand how your emotions and thoughts are connected to what triggers you. So, you want to start working on filtering out what causes, you to had those anxiety attacks, excuse me, and to just lose focus and let it become overwhelming. Did you have any questions about your homework?
No, not at all.
Okay. Oh, so in today's session, we went over quite a few points. Um, we basically came up with, use some homework to help con- So I just want to touch bases about today's session. Throughout today's session, we went over quite a few points. I just want to, touch bases on those points just to make sure, that you understand, or if you had any questions about any of the points that we hit, you can feel free to ask them at any moment. So we came up with a treatment goal, both short term and long term. I took note that you wanted to work on being more social. You wanted to control those negative thoughts, and you just wanted to basically overall get a hold of your anxiety. Um, so we came up with long term, we're going to try to be more social in the future. Short term, we're just going to start journaling how we feel, those negative thoughts, anything that comes to mind. Um, we also went over the mindfulness training. I want you to really use this. Just turn on some music, make sure, you're in a safe space. You can just calm down, release, and regroup. I want you to do this specific training before you do your homework for next week. Your homework for next week is to go ahead and answer those questions and jot down those emotions for me. And we will go over those list of emotions that you wrote down next week. And I just wanted to ask you, what did you take from today's session?
Um, I just I really took that it's important, to get a peace of mind while negative thoughts are happening. Um, I really enjoyed that technique. That's something that I said I would use, like that will help me to just put myself in a positive headspace while negativity is occurring. Yeah, and I have the homework, so I'll complete that before our next session. Next session, I'm totally looking forward to it because I feel like this one we were able to cover a lot of things that had me feeling anxious, and it was really good to actually get it out to realize what is causing my anxiety. So thank you.
No problem. I'm glad I could help you. And I look forward to seeing you next week as well.
Great, thank you.
All right. Have a good one.